Hello, everyone. You're listening to Gyvenimas per Brangus. This is March 8th, the International Women's Solidarity Day. And today we have some international women for you to show solidarity with. Hi, everyone. Please introduce yourselves. Who are you and what do you do? Maybe starting here from the left.
Hi everyone, my name is Asyah. I'm 20 years old, born and raised in Jerusalem. I'm not a student in university yet. I'm in my third gap year. I'm planning to study next year in university on major of filmmaking. I've been in the film industry since the age of 14, been taking a lot of courses about it, script writing and cinematography, and a lot more like podcasts. And I'm part of the Generation Project. Generation Project is a content creation course based to give Jerusalemite youth the tool of advocating about Jerusalem and create content about Jerusalem. And we are now in a tour. And now we are in Lithuania. And this is the last country in this tour.
Saving the best for last.
Exactly. That's how we feel. And passing the mic to Loor.
Hi everyone, my name is Loor. I am also Palestinian. I grew up between Jerusalem and Ramallah. I have a BA in sociology, anthropology and political science and a master's in international law. And I'm also part of the Generation Project, but my work mainly surrounds research, so research-based reports and analysis and more of the academia kind of route of things.
Yeah, and I am Duha from Jerusalem, from a small village called Asyah. I studied English literature and later I decided to study fashion design, and that's what I'm doing now for a living. I'm a fashion designer and I have a clothing brand where I speak about sustainability, and the main concept of the brand itself is a slow fashion brand where I also highlight Palestine heritage and culture through my designs. And I'm part of a Generation Project where they gave us the tools to create content, and I'm also a content creator. Mainly on YouTube and on Instagram, and I speak about subjects that actually matters to me, such as mental health, and and being also advocate about Palestine. So yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So y'all live in Jerusalem right now, right?
Between Jerusalem and Ramallah.
What is the vibe there? What is the atmosphere? How are the streets looking? Because the only information that we get back in here in Lithuania is maybe like a half a year ago we saw some pictures from protests against the Netanyahu's government. What is the emotion currently right now in the streets? How does it look like? How's life there?
Maybe I would like to address the life in Jerusalem, because I live in Jerusalem. And I've lived all my life in Jerusalem, and as I mentioned earlier, that I live in a small village called Asyah, and it's there are no freedom of movement in Jerusalem. If you want to go from a city to a city from a village to a village in Jerusalem, it's not an easy thing. They would put flying checkpoints for the people who want to leave Asyah. Or they might come at any moment, invade the village and demolish houses and arrest Palestinians. And after you leave Asyah, you'll find a settlement, an Israeli one, which is French Hill, where I always like to address that French Hill is living a life of 2025, but in Asyah you can, if you had the chance to visit, it's 1990 as a lifestyle, as an infrastructure, as of in terms of design and the atmosphere there. You won't feel like it's 2025 right now. And I've my sister has sent me a video where they had Israeli soldiers have invaded the village with their snipers on the Palestinian kids. They were after Tarawih prayer, they were near the mosque, and like they had their snipers with them, and they have shot a 12-year-old girl in her legs. And like, yeah, that's what we see. Like, we don't see like a normal life. I don't know, a civilized area that we can live freely, like the rest of the world is living now. So yeah.
Yes, of course. Like Duha mentioned, the checkpoints, the apartheid wall, the getting checked and harassed by soldiers. It's a part of the pretty much atmosphere and environment of the daily life of a Jerusalemite, and facing also the policies implemented through institutional means in order to further displace the Palestinians, in order to erase their presence from the land. So that is like all within the framework of how the Israeli occupation functions in order to further push and displace the Palestinian people from Jerusalem.
So, as much as I dislike it, we must talk at least a little bit about the Donald, who recently entered into office, and he famously declared that he's reached a ceasefire deal. How long did that last?
Well, as we can see, Israel has stopped the humanitarian aid access into the Gaza Strip, and they daily violate the ceasefire that is happening on a daily basis. And I would argue, of course, we can see this as part of the structure of genocide that Israel is partaking in, and it's very important now, like you mentioned in the beginning, March 8th. Which is Women's Day, to mention, of course, the Palestinian women in general, and then, of course, in Gaza, who are continuously facing displacement, who are continuously facing the genocidal policies and practices that have been, implemented against them. And it's very crucial to mention them and to talk about all the struggles that they continue to endure on a daily basis.
Just about how the ceasefire is going, because I feel like a lot of people, just see the word ceasefire and they think, peace has come, that's it,
Exactly, and I would argue, of course, the urgency still continues just because, the ceasefire is this fragile, I would call ceasefire, has been implemented. It does not mean that the genocide has stopped. Every day there is a constant break of the ceasefire, a violation. Israel constantly violates and breaks the ceasefire on a daily basis. And like I said, it's a part of a structure that is meant to have a long-term consequence. It's meant to persist within that framework. So it's something that is still continuous, it is persistent, and it is daily.
I'd also like then to ask, what is then the situation of women in this in the Gaza Strip, right? I've seen the statistics that over 12,000 women have been directly killed, many more thousands widowed or lost their children or lost their unborn children.
We can tell, like you said, by the amount of women that have been targeted and killed, that there has been an indiscriminate targeting of women. 70% of those killed by Israel in Gaza have been women and children, and 13,901 women have been widowed, like you mentioned, and also 50,000 pregnant women have been forced to give birth under inhumane conditions. And that's excluding the amount of women that have been arrested and have been harassed and have been tortured. So it is, like I said, like a structure of genocide that has targeted women, has targeted motherhood, essentially, has targeted the essence of Palestinian society. And it's we can see this within the indiscriminate targeting of women, and the continuous daily struggle that women persistently face, even after, like we mentioned in the beginning, the fragile ceasefire which Israel is violating on a daily basis. And of course the displacement of women. There's many policies and a lot of violations of fundamental human rights that have been implemented against the women of Gaza.
There's probably also something to be said about the collective trauma that is taking place right now, right? I feel like Lithuanians know quite a bit about it, and we talk quite a lot about the collective trauma that came from our pretty, relatively distant past. The trauma to Palestinians is happening right now, right? So we're not even capable currently of understanding the long-term effects. Maybe you can speak more than to that about what sort of mental health effects is it having when, you're constantly bombarded and whatnot. What is the mental health?
Yeah. And I think the collective trauma didn't start in these recent years. It has started since the 1948. Palestinians were displaced. They were forced to leave the country. They were kicked out of their homelands. So I think it has been going on since the 1948, and I would say it's part of my social responsibility is also to raise awareness into mental health, because I would rather say that Palestinians now are not aware enough of their mental health, because there are so many other things that they are been focusing on right now. They are on their survival mode. So when you're in survival, you don't really care about your mental health, or you're not aware of your mental health status. So I would say for the Palestinians to be able to process their emotions or to process what they've been going through, there are so many things that need to be done. First, one of them is to end the occupation on the Palestinians, so they will be afterwards able to process how they feel, or to agree that they were on a collective trauma, I would say.
I would like to add to Duha that in this tour we've been referring to a sentence that been said in the Israeli community about the old people gonna die and the young gonna forget, which we said we refer to this sentence as incorrect, because not only the young people don't forget, they don't have the chance to forget. Israeli people, Israeli authorities, Israeli occupation don't give the Palestinians a chance to forget the traumas, to forget the struggles, to forget the faces and the forms of occupation, because it's on daily basis. It's renew. It's always there, and it's happening worse and worse, and upscaling on every year and every big event or something. So we don't only when you say collective trauma, we're passing down the traumas of our parents, of what they've been facing. So they've been parenting us and raising us upon that trauma. We also add to it the trauma that we are living. So what we've been saying that we don't focus about the mental health issues, because also we don't get the chance to focus about our own struggles. We take it as a luxury to be out of the survival mood. We said, I've been saying in this tour, since I've landed in Europe and walked in the streets, all my anxiety is gone. I've been diagnosed with anxiety disorder since I was in the age of 5. And just facing the idea of I don't have to be around constantly around old rugged men with machine guns pointing to me, or with the fear of being kidnapped or killed just by looking or not looking, just by existence, and if I can get home, or what gonna happen in my home, or what happened to my father, or all that is something out of relief, that I don't forget, that I don't remember that I even felt since a young age. So yeah.
I guess then it must feel terribly macabre and ridiculous, honestly, when you hear proposals again from the Donald about what was it called, the Middle Eastern Riviera, the Trump Gaza and whatnot. Any quick reactions to this bullshit?
Yeah, it is exactly as you've expressed it. It's bullshit. We always chant for, or we call for a self-determination for the Palestinians. It's a thing that Palestinians would choose and decide for their future. So it's not Donald Trump, it's not anybody else that would say for the Palestinians what they should have, or what their future would look like. It's a thing that Palestinians have the right to choose and to determine by their own.
Yeah, it's really sarcastic to give the guy who said Belgium is a nice city a chance to determine people's future. It's really a disgusting idea, actually, not even sarcastic enough. It's disgusting. Like, who the fuck this guy is? Why he's talking about our future? Like, and we've been saying for ages, like, can we please, like, when there's talking about determining about Palestinians' future, can Palestinian people be on the table to determine by their own selves?
As ridiculous as this guy may be, he's also, unfortunately, he's the leader of the country that is militarily supporting the genocide of Palestinians, right? How do you resist that? There's such a tremendous, disbalance of powers here. You have the strongest military in the world by far supporting this. How in the world do you resist that? How do you find hope to resist? Can we even imagine an alternative to the Middle Eastern Riviera that he's proposing? I'm not sure if that's a question that has an answer just yet, but
No, of course we have to take what he is saying, although it is very ridiculous. We have to take it very seriously. We have to really uphold international law. We have to uphold the rights of the Palestinians, the right to self-determination, the right to be on the land, the right of return, the right to dictate and control their future. And we can also see with his comments and his attitude towards different also parts of the world, and this ultimately shows the true imperial face of how things function in the international arena. And that is why it's very important to uphold international law and not have double standards when it comes to the Palestinians, because if international law or human rights are not upheld for everybody, then it is essentially damaging to the system as a whole. Then it turns it as a system that will ultimately at one point destruct, and it will if double standards continue being the thing that dictates where international law or where human rights are upheld, then the system overall will ultimately die, will not work, will be weak, will not function as it should be. And we take it with seriousness what is being described by Donald Trump, and that is why again we reiterate the fact that Palestinians have the right to stay on the land, they have the right to determine their future, they have the right to be a united people, to live in dignity, to determine their life, to determine what they want for themselves. And I think it's the urgency is very important for the international community also to take it with importance and to mobilize and demand concrete actions and to implement actions, hold Israel accountable, implement arms embargo, continue with the BDS, continue demanding accountability. And I think within that way are we able to take control of what is happening as well.
When you asked how we can face all the oppression that we've been dealing with, and because it's military based upon from and by USA and all that. Well, first of all, we as Palestinians, we believe that we have the right of our own land, and when you take someone's future dream and every right of existence, the only idea would be in his head is to fight back to regain his life. So most of the times we don't think of how big or huge our enemy is. We just want the goal. We're just looking for the goal is to get our freedom, our right of choice back.
Would you say, or is this maybe a little too optimistic, but at least anecdotally in my eyes, I do witness some sort of a shift in attitudes, at least, if not policies, in the sort of international, arena and whatnot on this question. Whereas maybe right after the October 7th, everybody was like super pro-Israel and whatnot. But nowadays, when people have noticed the response that Israel has been doing as completely, disproportionate and whatnot, and completely crossing every single line that we can imagine, there does seem to be some sort of a shift in attitudes concerning that, right? There does seem to be some sort of pressure in Israel to change their ways. Do you see that at all?
I personally think that there is a shift, but I don't think it is enough, because like how Israel is violating so many laws and like breaking so many UN resolutions, this is not enough. Like seeing a real life genocide happening on the real ground is not enough for a couple of countries like to stop or to boycott Israel. This is not enough. Like there has to be a proper agenda towards this, and like for the other countries to also be like to keep boycotting Israel, or to start boycotting Israel, to stop their trade with Israel, and also to like the Western media has also to be vocal enough to speak about what is really happening on the ground, and to use the right terminology about this. Like we can see this shift is like because it started from the Palestinians themselves. Like they were the one who held their phones and they had their cameras, and they went outside and like filmed everything happening on the real ground. And people outside Gaza and outside Palestine, they could see really what is happening on the real ground. That's why I would say some governments and some people were able to see what is happening and could also like have small shifts, I would say, because of like the Palestinians themselves. They held this accountable on themselves, like they were self-responsible.
Let's get closer to Lithuania, because unfortunately I have to say that my country is one of the few countries that did not support the recent United Nations resolutions to end the genocide, right? Even though we talk about self-determination very much, right? We care about our own self-determination, and we also care a lot about Ukrainian self-determination. So I want to ask you, because I feel like a lot of people here care a lot about Ukraine and maybe just don't know enough about Palestine. What is your take on Ukraine? Do you see any parallels between your situation and theirs? Because, Trump also promised peace and ceasefire in Ukraine as well. So there's a lot of similar talking points going on. So can we see any connections here? What's your take on it?
No, of course, like we can say there are parallels, and that's why I would like argue again and say that if international law and fundamental human rights are not protected for one people, then they necessarily will at a point not be upheld for anyone else.
I think we've mentioned this a couple of times, that we can see how is the world is double standard towards what is happening in Palestine and what is happening in Ukraine. People are with the freedom and the self-determination in Ukraine, but this is not the same scenario in the case with Palestine as well. And we can see how power balance, or we can see how it's double standard and not holding Israel accountable to its actions. But like we are seeing Russia, that it is held accountable to its actions towards Ukraine. So yeah.
Would you see solidarity with the Ukrainian people also fighting for their freedom and whatnot?
Mean. Are you from Palestinians? I thought from Russian.
No. No, we don't do that. Not you.
Okay. Yeah. Palestinians will be with every nation that is fighting for their own liberation. Absolutely yes. Like for the people to self-determine their future. Absolutely yes. Yeah. I can tell you, yes, there is solidarity with Ukrainian and with Ukraine.
So you've been in Lithuania for a couple of days now, yes?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things that you have tried. Starting with the thing that we've tried most recently, which is kepta duona, the double baked bread. What's your take on it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it amazing? Is it the best?
Good.
What do you think?
Fried.
It's baked and fried, both of those things?
Baked and fried.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You can use this sound as in commercials.
Baked and fried.
You go.
Yeah,
You
do you
tried
like
it.
it?
You
Is
loved
it
it
edible?
twice. No, I didn't.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
And you're the one who ordered it twice.
Yeah.
You ordered it twice?
No, I once in Thailand and once in here. I really liked it. Yeah, it's good.
This one's better than the Estonian one, though, right? Please say yes.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're ending this
Yes.
interview. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely yes.
There is no gunpoint at all on this
There is
table.
no gunpoint taking place right now. All right. Second thing, you happen to be on an interesting day when we're having the annual Kaziuko Muge, the bazaar of Saint Kazimieras.
I think all questions are like turning out to me. Like you're pointing your questions only to me. I like the bazaar. I was at the bazaar yesterday and I shopped from there. There are so many creative artists here in Lithuania.
True,
I really
true.
love their art. They they do pottery, they do illustration, they do fashion design, they do jewelry design, and I've seen a couple of a very creative and astonishing work of Lithuanian artists and designers. Like I was really astonished, and I shopped from a couple of them. Yeah, I loved it here for me at the bazaar.
We've actually been saying that as many bazaars we do in Jerusalem and in Palestine, but this one was like a huge one. Most intellectual things and people. The passion in every corner is amazing, really.
And we knew that it happens only for 3 days in a year, and like we were lucky enough to shop from the bazaar. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. As we wrap this up, maybe there's something that we forgot to ask you that you want to share. Speak your truth now or remain forever silent. Maybe a message to all the women in the world with whom you would like to express solidarity with.
Yeah, absolutely. We share solidarity with every woman in the world because, like, we as Palestinian women are facing so much oppression. Yeah, from the occupation, absolutely. So we share solidarity with every woman facing whatsoever kind of an oppression. We support every woman out there, and we like, if there's a message, we would say like, stay strong and keep vocal and never be silent about what is happening with you, either from an, like, I don't know, family member or in like a big oppression, like a country.
No, I agree. And of course, we are interconnected and we stand in solidarity with all women. And yes, we are one interconnected struggle.
We're showing solidarity with every woman. All of us have the right to determine every spectrum and every aspect of our lives. And it's our life, our choices, our dream, our bodies. No one else should force us on anything. I hope it becomes better and better to every woman on this earth.
Hell yeah. Shall we sing?
Yeah, period.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks
We
so
really
much.
enjoyed it.
Thanks so much for
We
coming.
appreciate this opportunity. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hopefully see you next time, yeah? Soon?
Of
We'd love to.
course, yes.
We'd
Yeah.
love to.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll come visit you.
We will hope
you should come to
so.
Combinatas.
Yes.
There is a festival in summer. It is free of charge, and it's like a discussion festival, but at night we sing and dance and whatnot.
Very nice.
I
I'd
am
love to
coming
be
in
part
summer,
of
so I'm
it.
taking this information.
Seriously?
Yes.
I'll share the
then
deets
I'd
with
love
you.
to.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm. Amazing. This doesn't have to be in the interview, but do you have like a favorite film this past year that you would maybe, you saw and you were like, more people should see this? Like a
I got many.
yeah.
I really would recommend 200 meters. I like Palestinians movies. 200 meters, The Wanted 18, Umar, Farha. I recommend every movie for the director Ilya Sleiman. He's a really amazing director. We like take him as our daddy in in Palestine in cinema. Yeah, that would be like the top of my head. And when I saw you, a movie based in Jordan, Palestinian movie based in Jordan, and the teacher as well. Like there is also a lot of Palestinian movies, guys, and it's easier for people in Europe to access to those movies because they are most of the time banned from Palestine to scanned. So most of the people of Palestine didn't even watch any of the movies I've just listed. So we would love to actually to show you more and more. That's what we're doing.
Maybe any like musical artist that you want to give a shout out to that we can listen to?
شاب جديد.
شاب جديد.
Me. Me. Oh, there's Faraj Suleiman. You can listen to his music. He like the writer is Majd Kayal, and the singer is Faraj Suleiman, and he sings for a couple of Palestinian writers. And there is also Dalal Abu Amne, is a Palestinian artist as well. Sana Musa. We have also like an extraordinary Palestinian poets such as Rafif Ziyadeh, Mahmoud Darwish,
Ibrahim
And
Tuqan,
you've said
Fadwa
like
Tuqan. You would
100
love
of
those
these
guys.
artists already, so it's not that hard apparently. All right. Awesome. Okay. We got to wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming, okay?
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time.
It's a wrap.
And
Thank
please
you.
watch the show Mu'amir. That one is available now and it's hitting the top of the trend. So that would actually benefit you a lot.
That's a TV
in
show?
the cause. As a TV
What's it
show,
called
it's
again?
streaming on Netflix. Mu'amir.
Hell yeah.
Mo show.
Hell yeah, we'll watch
Hell yeah.
that. All right. Thanks so much. Let's wrap it up. Thank you, everyone. This was Gyvenimas per brangus. See you next time. Bye.
Free
Bye
Palestine.
bye.